legal challenges. She served as mayor of Rochester, New York from January 2014 through December 2021, becoming the city's first female and youngest mayor in modern times. Now, the youngest female, okay? First female, youngest mayor. This sister is also the first Black female mayor of a city in the state of New York. This is New York State's first Black female mayor. Please give her a round of applause for that. Please give her a round of applause for that. Throughout her career, Warren has focused on job creation, safer and more vibrant neighborhoods, and expanding educational opportunities for Rochester's residents. She is known for forging partnerships across the public-private, nonprofit, academic, and neighborhood sectors to drive sustainable progress. Warren is committed to building a stairway out of poverty by advancing economic equality and closing the middle skills gap. She has worked to eliminate barriers to employment through investments in transportation, vocational training, and small business development. Her administration raised Rochester's profile for job creators by championing major capital projects such as the Port of Rochester Marina, the revitalization of Midtown Plaza, and the transformation of the Inner Loop East Expressway into a connected at-grid boulevard. Does that sound familiar to you all? It's very familiar to what we are doing right in downtown Syracuse. Born and raised in Rochester's 19th Ward, Warren made neighborhood investment a priority. During her tenure, affordable housing investments nearly tripled from less than $40 million annually to more than $109 million, totaling $872 million by 2021. Please give this sister another round of applause.
All right.
More than 4,000 affordable homes were built or renovated, improving housing for nearly 10,000 residents. She also spearheaded long overdue investments in historically underfunded neighborhoods, including Bull's Head, Edgerton, and North Hudson Avenue. As you all can see, this sister has done it. I don't think there's much else that I can say. You have the credentials. I want to turn the panel over to you because you are really the person who needs to moderate this panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the warm introduction. Let's give it up for Charlene Tarver and this phenomenal expo she has put together. I just don't want to give it up for this expo. Yesterday, there was a land dedication here. Let's give it up for that as well. Returning home and investing in community and neighborhoods. I am super, super proud to not only call you my friend, but also to congratulate you on doing an exceptional job and not giving up when many people said that you couldn't do it. Let's give her another big round of applause. So this panel, of course, is not about me. It's about each and every one of you that's here today. Thank you to all those that have come to hear these esteemed mayoral candidates. I'm going to give each person a chance to introduce themselves in 1 to 2 minutes, and then we'll get right into questions, if that's okay. Okay? Want to start? Yeah.
My name's Tim. You chickens. You have chickens. I guess I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Yes, my name is Alfonso Davis. I look out in the audience and a lot of the faces I know, and many of you know of me, but let me tell you a little bit about who I am. Born and raised here in the city of Syracuse. I never shy away from letting people know that I was born in a place called Central Village, better known as Brick City, because good things do come out of the projects, and I am one of those good things, as many others in my sphere, in my age bracket, and younger. I've been involved in the political process for some time, actually, long before you became mayor of Rochester, actually, with Mayor Johnson's campaign. with Councilman Charles Anderson. And you know Councilman Charles Anderson, I managed his campaign. I've also managed Langston McKinney's campaign, and I was the campaign site manager for Mario Cuomo, the dad, when he had an office here on Washington Street. So in terms of my involvement in the political process, it's extensive. I am a part of one of the only candidates who's actually helped with legislation. Many of you know of it. It's not the same what it was when we passed it with the Citizens Review Board. I also worked on some legislation with Clint Bay and the Box. So in terms of just being a part of the political process and being in the political process, I've been there for some time. I'm married with 5 children. One is a teacher at Greenwich. The other one, a middle school girl, is at Manhattan University. And then I got a 14, I think 14. She's here, she's gonna say that. I know, don't tell her, don't snitch on me. She's at ITC, and I have but outside of my marriage, I have an older daughter. She works social service, and I have a son. Unfortunately, he's incarcerated because, you know, hard head do make us all fast. And if you're not gonna listen and pay attention, then you're gonna reap what you sow. So I love him, he's still my child, but I'm just an upfront person. I tell you, like, you have to wear them shoes you put on, because those are decisions you make. So that's who I am. But I have a vision for our city, and that vision includes incorporated everyone.
So as Charlene talked about, in Rochester, we were able to fill in the inner loop, which was a big development, and filling in a moat. And you're doing that here in Syracuse, the I-81 Aqueduct project. And as part of that project, you know, you have torn down some affordable housing that is relocated and have been making changes with the viaduct removal. And so the question is, how will you ensure affordable housing remains available as redevelopment of those particular housing areas are being changed, and make sure that as you move forward, you make sure that affordable housing is a part of that redevelopment?
Yes, I remember when I don't remember I wasn't born, but my grandparents owned property when they put the highway up. When Ben Walsh's grandfather was the mayor, when they took down, when they created 81, and they disproportionately disenfranchised people of color. And they had this revenue, it was called split revenue, that was supposed to be geared towards those individuals that they disenfranchised, business owners, homeowners. And today, that money has not went to any of those individuals. So with that being said, and I agree with Shane in terms of when it comes down, that property that's underneath the highway needs to be the mayor, the next mayor, when I'm the next mayor, I'm gonna make sure that that property is being used in a way that's going to allow people who have been disenfranchised and marginalized to have access to that, because we have it. And I'm also going to make sure that the resources are there so that we can do both. We can have small businesses as well as income, as well as low income and mixed income housing. What we don't do is we don't prioritize in terms of giving resources to people who are marginalized and disenfranchised. None of the administrations in my time has done that in the city of Syracuse. None. Under mine, we will.
Thank you. We're going to stay right with housing for a moment, because I think that is very important, because you all touched on the fact of displacing neighbors that are already, or people that are already living in certain neighborhoods. How will you ensure as mayor that you're not displacing those long-term residents when you do new development? Because what I've found is that people love their neighborhood. They love where they live at. They don't want to leave. And so how will you uplift the neighborhood without making sure you displace, and also when I say displace, meaning price people out by raising the rents or raising the taxes? How will that happen under your administration?
Well, we have never never seriously looked at how we deal with people in public housing. They are always the last person to be dealt with, the last person to be considered, the last person to even have a notion to what they want. And so nobody, I remember in 2008 when I ran for mayor and DOT was coming here and we met with them downtown in the library and we talked specifically about how we're going to make sure that we don't do the same thing that you did when you built the highway. That's disenfranchising, marginalizing people, the very people who live in those areas who's going to be affected. Now, I am not a huge component of what they call mixed income because you know what happens. You say, okay, we're gonna develop so many apartments for high income. We're gonna have so many apartments for low income. The odds of people coming back into those housing projects is 0 to none, because what they're gonna say is that, hey, you was late on your rent 3 years ago, you can't come back, or you missed a payment this time, you can't come back. So we have to prioritize how we're going to really deal with housing in those areas and make sure that the people who are disenfranchised and marginalized have access first, and honestly, under my administration only.
Thank you. So the question was specifically how we would not displace people. I understand that they need to come down and they need to be updated, but having a situation where those individuals that are the people that live there now have a right of first refusal is something that I would implore you to all to look at. Thomas just brought up the fact of federal funding. We all know that for especially Democratic cities, that CDBG, Community Block Grant Dollars, is under attack. And so how will you, knowing the landscape, and I know that you all see what's happening across the country with cities, ensure that you still provide essential services, police, fire, DES, Department of Environmental Services, but also, fund youth, fund those other projects that need to be funded. So what is your plan as mayor to make sure that those essential services get taken care of, but also the support to the residents of Syracuse?
Said, just as a city municipality alone, we give away too much. You have 47% of the people paying 100% of the taxes. You cannot sustain your city like that. We give the Syracuse University, we give Lemoyne, and we give a lot of these corporations too much tax incentives, but with no clawback. So one of the ways I think that you can generate revenue, because we know that demonic spirit in the White House is going to be gone in a few years, hopefully. Not hopefully, he will be. But at the same time, we have to do things ourselves as a municipality to create some clawbacks with Syracuse University, with Lemoyne, with other individuals, hospitals,
5 seconds.
with all those tax incentives to say we need to claw some of that back because they're buying property. Those properties go off the tax zone, and then the city suffers. And then on top of that, we have the majority of the police officers, firefighters, and people that work for the Syracuse City School District get a check from the city every 2 weeks, put nothing back into the city coffer. We have to come up with ideas and ways to get some of that back. One of the things I propose is a commuter tax on those who work for the city, but don't pay nothing to the city for 30 years.
Mr.
Then they
Davis.
retire and send that money to
Davis,
Florida.
your
I'm
5
sorry.
seconds are
Thank you. I'm trying to talk fast.
Please give it to Tim. Thank you. And so I just want to have 2 more questions before we open it up to the audience for 1 or 2 questions. While the mayor does not directly control the school district, meaning there is no mayoral control, what role will you play in supporting Syracuse City School District students and teachers as mayor? If you were elected mayor, we're going to start with Mr. Davis. 90 seconds.
90 seconds. That goes by so fast. I tell you, one of the things, the school board has school board commissioners. But understand this, the school district gets a huge portion of the city budget. So yeah, me and the superintendent, and congratulations. Me and the superintendent, I thought that was painful. Yeah, you look like it, I'm sorry. But me and the superintendent and the school board commissioners will have a relationship. We will discuss how we can better educate our young people in our city. Now, I'm a huge opponent of a comprehensive vocational program. I went through Central Tech. I took nursing. I took cosmetology, and I took auto mechanics. We are lacking in comprehensive vocational programs, and there's so many carpenter, plumbers, electrician jobs that are available. The average person who comes out as a carpenter, electrician, or plumber can make anywhere between $65,000 to $80,000 a year. Not every young person is college bound. So it is incumbent upon me
5 seconds.
to have a great relationship with the superintendent, to have a great relationship with the school board people, and say we need to work in tandem to create avenues that is going to allow our young people to be successful, because we know they are not college bound.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
I don't just believe, I know that I'm the best candidate to be the next mayor of the city of Syracuse. First and foremost, I'm hopelessly in love with my city. I'm hopelessly in love with the people of this city. Doesn't matter what side of town you live on or where you come from. I love this city, and I love the fact that we have the ability to do some things that is going to change the next few generations if we elect the right person. And I respectfully say to you that I'm that right person, because we have to believe that we need a mayor who has courage to do the things that are politically unpopular with individuals, who has the courage to say that we're not going to foster these relationships because you have big dollars and you've given, or you can give, or you can control these dynamics. We need a mayor who is going to have the courage and the strength to stand up and say, I'm going to do what's not just expedient, but what is best for the people of Syracuse. And I have been that fighter all my life, since I was taught by individuals in the city like Stretch Irons, like Sam Roberts, like Jan Spapes, like Larry Briggs, individuals in this community who were fighters in this community, that fought for people in this community. My mother, who was murdered, fought for people in this community. And we need a mayor who has the political courage and the political will to stand up and do what's right by helping people. I'm a firm believer when you lift up the very least of them, then everything else rises. We have to create avenues and opportunities for people who have always been disenfranchised and marginalized. It's great to see other communities prosper, but when you neglect the very least of them, then how can you call yourself a 21st century great city that is prospering when you have neglected so many and you continue to neglect so many? So I don't doubt that any individual on this panel is qualified, but I am the best person to serve as mayor, because we need a strong leader who's going to stand up against anybody, including that orangutan in the White House.